Alright guys, so today I thought I would just give you guys a little driving POV, another one. But this time I'm going to talk about what it's like to drive a new Edge Mustang, which you know is 21 years old now. I know there's a lot of reviews talking about reliability and stuff like that, but this review is basically just going to be about driving characteristics, like how it handles, what the ride quality is, what you should know before buying one, and what it's like to daily drive one, because I do daily drive this. Alright, so I'm not really going to get on it right now or anything, just going to let the car heat up a little bit. One thing you'll notice about when you drive this car is it takes a really long time to heat up, and I'm not sure why that is. I just did change the coolant and the thermostat in it, so maybe that's why it's taking a long time to heat up. But even when I first got it, it was taking a long time to heat up. I'm guessing just because it's a big engine. Going over the train tracks right there, you pretty much feel every single bump in this car. It's not a very smooth ride. It has a solid axle suspension like a truck, so the car really does ride like a truck. My exhaust setup on the car is boreless stingers and an off-road X pipe, which is pretty quiet around town, but it can get really loud when you open it up. But I like it because it's a good compromise, because you can still hear it while you're cruising around, but when you open it up, it sounds like a race car. Before I had a catted X pipe and it was just too quiet. It was loud at full throttle, but during cruising around, it sounded almost stock. A T45 transmission. The other transmission that came inside these cars was the automatic, of course, and then there was the TR3650, which was kind of the updated transmission. It has internal shift stops and it's supposed to be able to handle just a little bit more horsepower and torque. I test drove one with the TR3650 before I got this one, and I didn't like the way it shifted at all. It was extremely notchy and it was hard to find the gears. The T45 is much smoother, even though it may be a little bit weaker, but it's not really such a big deal if you still got the stock power output. Bicycle people are the worst, I swear. Get on a little back road here and I'll open it up for you guys. Careful not to hit the bridge too hard over here. Yeah, so just cruising along, it's really nice actually. The car drives pretty much straight. This road is not exactly level, so I can't really show how straight it drives. But I got 275 tires all around on the car, and that really helps with the handling of it. On the stock tire, I believe it's either 245s or 225s if you get like the really base model. And then the handling will not be very good at all, and also you won't get any traction when you do accelerations. Coming up to a slight corner here, you see with the lowering springs I have on it, it handles very flat actually. With the stock springs, there is a little bit more body roll, but with the lowering springs, it's pretty much got a 2-inch drop on the front and a 1.5-inch drop on the back. I also have KYB AGX shocks and struts on here. I'm not sure if that really helped with the handling, but it did help it ride a little bit better with the lowering springs on it. With the stock shocks, it was very bumpy. That's in this car is obviously the 2-valve engine. My personal favorite of the Ford engines, not because of the power it makes, but because how many parts there are for them and how readily available they are. And also, they're one of the most reliable motors that Ford made. I currently have 88,000 miles in this car. Now, I've never really had any trouble with it, knock on wood, of course. Clutch on this car is very forgiving, but it also is very heavy. This is a cable driven clutch, so it doesn't have a hydraulic clutch like some of the modern cars do. Yeah, so you definitely have a strong left leg after driving one of these cars. Clutch is very heavy. I was used to driving Japanese cars, and I had a Saturn before this as well, and the clutches were like extremely light compared to this one. The throttle response on this car is the best I've ever had on any car. The only engine mods I have is the 75mm throttle body and the SR Performance Plenum. I'm not really sure if it helped the throttle response because the throttle response was always so excellent. But that's what happens when you have a cable-driven throttle instead of a drive-by-wire throttle. It's this instant throttle response, and I love it. So a little bit more about the power output. This car makes 260 horsepower and 302 pound-feet of torque, which is not very impressive. But this car only weighs 3,200 pounds, so it can get around pretty good. And the 0 to 60 time is in the mid 5-second range, so it's not that slow. Everybody always clowns this being the slow generation of Mustangs, but honestly, a stock Fox body, which people claim are so fast, are a lot slower than these. This engine is also extremely smooth for a V8. I test drove a F-body Camaro and that engine was not smooth at all. It did have a really cool torque curve in it where it kind of hits you in the back like a sledgehammer when you just smash the gas, but this engine's a lot smoother. This car really doesn't start making power until about 3,500 RPMs. The red line on this car is, I believe, 5,700 RPMs, and peak power is at 5,200 RPMs. So it likes to rev a little bit higher than some of the other American-made V8 engines in order to make power. But when it does reach its optimal RPM, it does make pretty good power. I think the torque comes on at max torque at 3,000 RPMs. But anything below, I'd say 2,500, the car feels like almost like a 4-cylinder. It really doesn't have that much power. so they're summer tires. So you can't rotate them, but it does handle pretty good. One thing I would say about this car, if you plan on buying it, is that don't be prepared for it not to drive like a modern car. This is a 21-year-old Mustang at the end of the day, and it was good for the time. Yes, the ride is pretty harsh. The interior is pretty damn basic. But everything works on the car. Everything works: air conditioning, radio, heat, all works. Traction control, cruise control. Haven't had any problems with electronics on the car. The power windows still go up and down. So I'd say for a 21-year-old car, it's held up pretty good. And I like cars with not much features on them because it's just more stuff to break. I don't need adaptive cruise control and heated seats and all that crap, honestly. I just want the car to drive well and not have to worry about it too much. But the driver's seat is a power seat, just to let you know. Show you some more of the downshifting. The pedals are really too far apart to do heel-toe downshifting, so you kind of just got to plan ahead when you're coming up to a stop if you want to downshift. If you don't want to downshift, that's cool too, but the brakes aren't really that great, so that's up to you. Stock has 327 gears. I have 355 gears in the rear end. Mustangs and Camaros and muscle cars like that are one of the few cars you can actually change the rear end gear ratios fairly easily, and it really shows an improvement. I want to get 410 gears for this car, but I also still drive on the highway, so I'm not too sure about that right now. But the 355 gears are kind of good town and country gear. The stock gears are just too tall. First gear is way too long, and you really gotta spin this engine out in order to make power. So it's better to have a shorter gear ratio. We can keep it up in the higher RPMs. Yeah, so you can see with the exhaust, you can barely hear it at idle, which is one of the things that's unique to the new Edges. Alright, so we're coming up on one more turn till I get to my house, and I'll show you kind of like more sharp handling on the car, more sharp turn. Now should go to second. Yeah, so this is a really fun car to drive. I only paid $5,000 for this car, so I'd say honestly this is the best bang for your buck car. And of course, being a Ford, there's plenty of parts around. You can literally go to any auto parts store and get parts, and not just generic parts. You can even get OEM parts. For example, I work at AutoZone, and I can find Motorcraft parts there all the time, which is the OEM brand for this car. So pulling into the neighborhood right now, I'll show you some of the slow speed characteristics of this. So just cruising around in second gear at 25 miles an hour, it's very loud. Probably want to be in third, but the cool thing about the new Edges is they have a mid-mounted muffler system, unlike the newer Mustangs, which the muffler is the tailpipe. So this one actually has tailpipes after the muffler, but it really keeps the volume down if you keep your foot out of the gas. It also gives it a really throaty tone that the newer Mustangs really don't have. you guys appreciate that little drive in my Mustang. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. I love talking about Mustangs. If you guys thinking about buying one or want to know more about mine, just let me know. Just shoot me in the comment section below and I'll be able to answer you guys pretty quickly. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.